This is in the summer of 2015. Um, this is this is my experience with psilocybin mushrooms. I took about a 3.5 gram dose. Um, I wake up in the morning basically really excited because I've been like prepping myself all month for this, trying to get myself into a good headspace and, just like learn, more about mushrooms by, reading about them online and then, watching people's trip report videos and hearing their experiences just to kind of get a feel for it. Nothing was really preparing me for this because there's one thing like reading about it and watching it, watching people talk about it, and then there's actually like fucking tripping. Like, it's pretty intense. So basically, I walked down to Children's. It's like a park here in Chico. I walked down to Children's to go get an ounce because I was gonna get an ounce of shrooms because for some reason in my head, like I had the idea that shrooms was kind of like one of those recreational substances you just use because like they're fun and like tripping is fun and you'll see stuff and blah 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 and like it's nothing like that at all. And I came at it with such naivety. And I mean, even though I'd seen, a lot of people's videos, I felt like if I listened to the right music, if I did this, if I did that, I was gonna have a fantastic trip and everything. And it didn't start out bad at all. So I get the eighth from Children's and walk back to my apartment. I bought an ounce of weed as well to smoke with it. I get back to the apartment and I eat the shrooms. They taste terrible. They smell like dirty gym socks. They're fucking disgusting. So I'm at the apartment and I'm eating the shrooms. I eat them. I take orange juice with it, so just like it takes the taste away. And actually, I read like afterwards, apparently that orange juice even enhances some of the trip, kind of like how it does with marijuana. I eat the shrooms and I go to sit on my couch to smoke some weed. So I'm sitting on the couch and I'm smoking, and about like 45, 60 minutes into the trip, or 45, 60, I'm tripping. I'm not tripping right now. I sound like it though. So, around 45 to 60 minutes into smoking weed, I start to notice just how bright and alive that the ashes are. The colors are just so vivid and so real, and everything is taking on this sharp, just like fourth dimensional vibe to it. And as I sit up with the pipe, it's like my consciousness is rising up and pouring out of my eyes and filling up the room, and I'm experiencing the entire room. I'm just like I am like in the whole room, like my whole being is in the room. It was a really weird experience, it started out really good and I was enjoying it. I felt happy. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be really cool. And the problem though is that I didn't heed what everyone had said about kicking it and just chilling and not like moving around and going all these places, because like shrooms, they make you feel heavy. Like the body high you get is kind of like marijuana but times 1,000. You feel lit as fuck. You're just like ugh. So I get a message from my contact saying that she has that ounce. So I end up going down to down to Children's again to go get the ounce, and I get it. And the one thing I become really aware of on my way there is that I can feel people's presence really, really, really strong. Like I'm walking by people, and if they give off a bad vibe, it makes me feel really like sick and like in pain. Like I'll feel it in my stomach, like like when you have like the flu, it feels like that, like I'm gonna throw up. So I go and get the ounce, and I'm trying to talk to my connect, and just make conversation with people, and I can't really, it's hard for me to like, it was crazy. I was feeling so many weird things, like feeling so many people's energies, and no one had like everyone down at Children's just had kind of a negative vibe. So I'm just trying to, I get away from there, and I'm just like, I'm gonna leave. So And the whole entire time prior to me walking to go get that ounce, there's a like another consciousness in my head telling me that if I smoke a cigarette if I smoke, because I'd pulled out a cigarette to smoke while I was tripping, because I thought that would be fun, you know, like, because when I was on acid, like, the LSD made the smoke look so fucking cool. So I was thinking, if I'm high on, you know, shrooms, then it's gonna look cool, and like it's gonna be fun and way more pleasurable than just normally smoking a cigarette. So, you know, but this consciousness inside my head is telling me not to smoke that cigarette or my trip is going to be bad. But me being, you know, a stubborn little shit doesn't listen, and I just smoke my cigarette anyway. So as I'm walking away from Children's down Broadway to, you know, leave everybody and their bad vibes behind me and just get back to my apartment and, you know, be comfortable and chill and listen to music and smoke some weed, like, and have fun, I'm walking down Broadway, and like this guy comes out of the pita pit, and he's just like a fucking giant, and he's like, as he walks behind me, starts to shrink down, and I'm walking down, as I continue to walk down Broadway, once I pass Starbucks, there's this feeling of just like this, like, as if this like veil of like ignorance has just been lifted from my eyes, this veil that's been this veil of secrecy that's been hiding these beings from me, because this guy he didn't give off a human energy, he gave off this inhuman vibe. He was just fucking weird, and it was like a cold, dead energy, like a lifeless energy, but somehow alive, somehow conscious, you know. And so as I'm walking down Broadway, I can feel him following me, and I'm trying to walk faster to get away from him to get back to my apartment, but I can feel him behind me. And it's making me angry, because like I don't like to feel bad. No one likes to feel bad, you know, especially when it's another person making you feel bad. So, and he wasn't even, I don't know, maybe just some fucking guy. You know, I get back to, I'm walking, you know, down there and down Broadway, and he's making me feel so sick that I'm nauseous and throwing up. Like, I start to throw up. And it's just really fucked up. And as I look back at him, he has like these like KGB fucking little oval like sunglasses, this pale ass motherfucking face, these thin colorless lips that are pursed and kind of smiling at me. He's like smirking at my pain and agony, and it's just kind of like, this is horrible. So I end up, you know, I'm throwing up in public, so that's not helping anything. Like, my trip, it's already embarrassing to throw up in public when you're not tripping, so when you throw in mushrooms and throwing up in public, it just makes it fucking worse. So I'm walking down Fifth, and I'm trying to stay positive. You know what? This is bullshit. I'm gonna have a good trip. You know, no matter what happens, I'm gonna have a good trip. So I turn on some music, but the song takes on the loneliest fucking vibe, and I'd picked music that was kind of introspective and you know, moody, and would kind of like get me into that, you know, that feeling of just wanting to go further inside myself, you know, go further inside. And I think the problem with what I was doing was that I was trying to engage my internal psychology while I was out in the world, which is dangerous, because it's like, it was as if I couldn't have privacy. It was like, I don't know, like every thought and feeling I had took this velocity, you know, it took on, like every thought would take on a feeling, and it was like an emotive force that would just move itself. And I was just like feeling every one of my thoughts, and all the thoughts I were having were kind of scared and a little bit, you know, worried. And I was white knuckling at positivity. I was like, you know what, fuck this shit. I'm gonna have a good trip. I'm gonna fucking grasp it. I'm gonna pull it towards myself. I'm gonna have this for me. Like, I'm gonna have it. But I realized the shrooms were actually, a lot of people say they're like a psychological kind of teacher, because they open up those parts of the darker parts of your subconscious, where you can kind of see your fears, you know, and face them head on and everything. And I realized the fear that I had was of people, pretty much, you know, and how people are, and just their emotions and everything, and you know, or just like thinking that they pass judgment on you or whatever. I don't know. I'm trying to rationalize this experience. I get back to my apartment, and I had drawn this grounding picture. I don't know why I'd said I'd drawn it as a grounding picture, but it because originally I was spell casting. At the time I was, practicing, what some people believe to be magic or witchcraft or whatever. So I'd done a love spell, and I had drawn the person I loved, their eyes, and gotten their numerological information and put them in diagrams around the eyes and connected it with this stone that I had. And it's fucking horrible, because like as I'm looking at this picture, I had drawn all these like interweaving fibers and little dots and stuff coming out from behind it to just kind of give it a trippy feel. And while I'm looking at it, like as I'm looking at it, there's like this evil spirit looking monster coming out from behind her eyes, and it's like all jagged and twisted and just like, yeah, like screaming at me. And I realized that spirit was my intention, and my intention for this love spell was evil, because love spells in essence are evil, because it's like because you're messing with someone's will when you do that, when you cast one of those spells. And I realized that my intentions weren't completely pure, and that they were evil, and they weren't based off of love. I think it was probably based off lust, and that's kind of what the shrooms were telling me. So I get, I just like, I hate that, and I'm like, this is crap. I don't want to have that. So I'm ripping down the picture and tearing it up, and I throw it in the trash can. I remove the stone. I go into my bedroom, and I'm sitting there, and I still feel that the energy just radiating from that picture, and it's so negative and dark that I just like, I can't have it in my apartment. So I go out, I grab the trash, take out the trash and throw it in the dumpster, come back up to my apartment, and I feel a little bit better. I feel better after it's gone, which is so weird. But as I'm like, as I'm sitting there in my room, like I'm trying all these different positions to get comfortable, and I can't get comfortable, and my trip ends up fading and ebbing and fading away, and I come out of it honestly with confidence. Like I came out of it feeling like, wow, I'm a lot tougher than I think, and I can go through these experiences and come out alive, and have these insights about things. And the insights were really cool, because it's kind of sad, because it opened up my eyes to realizing that maybe this person that I loved, I didn't really love. I just had feelings of lust for them, which is really fucking disgusting and sad. But yeah, that's my experience on shrooms. My first trip, it was a 3.5 gram dose. Everyone I talked to in Children's had told me that you either take less than an eighth or an eighth, however much you want to do, but they basically just told me not to supersede the amount of 3.5 grams. That's my experience, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, bye.